everybody, this is AJ, and Service Daisy is right there. It's been a long time since I done a video. I said I was going to do a video once every day on the Peanuts countdown to Christmas, but well, some things happened, and I had school finals, and then my first Christmas party with my mom's family and some other stuff, and anyways, so I ain't been able to do these. So, I'm going to do several tonight, and eventually we're going to get caught up to where we actually should be. Alright, December 7th, the perfect gift. Every year, Marcy and Peppermint Patty exchanged Christmas gifts. Every year, Marcy picked out a present for Peppermint Patty in the first week of December. Her presents were always thoughtful and perfect for Peppermint Patty. On the other hand, every year, Peppermint Patty raced around on Christmas Eve searching for something for Marcy. 2 years ago, she got Marcy a pair of socks. Last year, she got Marcy a keychain that said Happy Thanksgiving. Well, this year, Peppermint Patty was determined not to wait until the last minute. So, in the first week of December, she went to a place where she knew she'd find lots of things Marcy would like. The bookstore. Marcy loved books. All Peppermint Patty had to do was find a book on a subject that might interest Marcy. But Peppermint Patty couldn't remember what her friend liked to read about. Did she like stories of poetry, history, or science? All the above. Peppermint Patty knew Marcy had interests, and she knew Marcy talked to her about them. But Peppermint Patty had a habit of not listening. Rats, she said. I'll just have to take a guess at what book Marcy might like. So Peppermint Patty started by asking herself a question to which she would know the answer. What kind of book would I want? She wandered over the sports section. There she saw the most interesting books she'd ever seen. Books filled with basketball stats. Books about the world's greatest ice hockey players. Books on sports Peppermint Patty had never even heard of. She picked out a book that she wanted to read herself. If it's perfect for me, it'll be perfect for Marcy, she said. Whoa. She had the present wrapped at the store and raced over to Marcy's house. Merry Christmas, she said when Marcy opened the door. She held out the present. And here she is, and they're exchanging gifts. She said when Marcy opened the door, she held out the present. Okay. Hello, sir, said Marcy. I have a present for you, too. Marcy handed Peppermint Patty a package, and both girls ripped off the wrapping paper. Soon they were holding the same book in their hands. A how-to guide filled with insider tips on how to make a good baseball player even better. Oh, thank you, sir, said Marcy. This is the best present you've ever gotten me. I'll start reading my copy right away. Maybe it'll teach me once and for all how to score a goal. That's a home run, Peppermint Patty corrected her. I know, said Marcy. Scoring a goal would be a real home run. The end. Now, December 8th. Woodstock's decorating dilemma. Woodstock loved the Christmas season. He loved flying around and seeing all the bright lights, feeling the crisp breeze through the air, and most of all, getting into the Christmas spirit. This year, he planned to really go over the top with his nest decorations. He wanted to have the best nest in the neighborhood. First, Woodstock flew around to check out the competition. Some birds had ornaments hanging off their nests, some birds had lots of twinkling lights, and some birds had ribbons tied to branches, but not one of them had a Christmas tree. Woodstock chirped loudly. That's it! He would decorate his nest with a Christmas tree and a bright yellow star on top. It would be the perfect addition to his Christmas nest. Woodstock circled around the forest in search of the perfect little tree. He spotted Franklin and Linus skating on the ice rink, and just to the right was a small tree peeking over the edge. It was the right size for his nest. He pulled out his tools and cut down the tree. Then he got his snow cart and dragged the tree over to his nest. Then he took a little snack break and had some cookies and hot chocolate before carrying his tree up to his nest. Before long, he was feeling quite tired, but he knew he had to finish decorating his nest. After all, he wanted to have the most decorated nest in the neighborhood. After he added all the ornaments and lights, Woodstock was completely wiped out. How will I get the star on top, he wondered. Just then his best friend Snoopy walked by. He clapped at Woodstock's tree. Then he noticed Woodstock lying in his nest, looking exhausted. Woodstock chirped at Snoopy in desperation. Snoopy knew just what to do. He grabbed his ladder and helped Woodstock with the final touch. He added the star on top. This is Snoopy adding the star on top to Woodstock's tree. Woodstock grinned. Now he really felt in the Christmas spirit. Thanks, Snoopy, Woodstock chirped. Now my nest looks perfect, all thanks to the help from my best friend. What are best friends for? Snoopy responded with a grin. I really hope you win the contest. Then he heard a loud noise. His stomach was rumbling. Since you're my best friend and I helped you decorate your nest, Snoopy began, do you happen to have any dog bones? That would make this day even more perfect, he thought, and maybe some bird seeds for my best friend Woodstock too. And then they gave each other a hug. Ain't that sweet? Alright, now December 9th. A book for Charlie Brown. Okay. Charlie Brown loved Christmas cards. Even though he didn't get many, every day in December he eagerly checked in the mailbox to see if any cards had come for him that day. Yesterday his favorite card came. It was his grandmother's card, which arrived every year a few weeks before the big day. She always included a thoughtful note and some money, so as she wrote, "You can buy something nice for yourself." As Charlie Brown shoveled snow from his front walk that morning, he thought about what he should do with the money Grandma had sent him. I could always save it for a rainy day, he thought, or the next snowy one. Speaking of snow, maybe I should buy a new shovel. If we have this much snow before Christmas, think of how much we'll get in January. It might be a good investment. Hi, big brother, shouted Sally, interrupting Charlie Brown from his thoughts. He was startled and fell back into a pile of snow. And there's Charlie Brown he fell into a snow. Hi, Sally, he said. Can you help me? Sally gave Charlie Brown her hand. Oh, my God. What can I do for you, Sally? Charlie Brown asked. Well, I was just wondering what you are going to buy with the money you got from Grandma for Christmas, she said. Oh, I don't know, said Charlie Brown. I was thinking I could buy a new shovel or maybe a book, and and the wood. I don't know. Every time I read the book, my nose itches. Hold on. Oh, I don't know, said Charlie Brown. I was thinking I could buy a new shovel, or maybe a book. Sally looked at Charlie Brown sweetly. You don't really want those things, do you, big brother? Wouldn't you rather combine our money so we could get something bigger? Like a bigger shovel? Asked Charlie Brown. Or maybe something more fun, suggested Sally. Something we could both enjoy. What do you have in mind? Charlie Brown asked her. Sally took out some blueprints of a tree house. I had these drawn up, she told Charlie Brown. We could start working on it this spring. Charlie Brown took a close look at the blueprints. At the top of the treehouse, a sign says Sally's Place. Stay out. Charlie Brown shook his head and handed the blueprints back to her. I think I'd rather get a new book, he told her. Oh, that was it? Oh, that was it of December 9th. Okay. Really? 25, 26? Well, that was a short, quick story. Anyways, okay, December 10th, a sled for Linus. It was the first snowy day of winter, and all Linus wanted to do was to go sledding. So he grabbed the closest thing he had to the sled, a cardboard box. He just had to push it up the big snow-covered hill, and then he would be smooth sledding all the way down to the bottom. He couldn't wait. Then he realized something. Pushing a cardboard box up a snow-covered hill is harder than I thought it would be, thought Linus. He even tried turning around and pushing the box up the hill while walking backwards for a while. That was even harder. He even tried turning around and pushing the box up the hill while walking backwards for a while. I did that. When he finally made it up to the top, he climbed into the box and took a seat. He was ready to go. He just wanted to take one quick look at the view. And this is him. I should have showed you this first. This is Linus trying to push the box, the cardboard box. This view is spectacular, Linus thought, as he looked out on the valley below. I wish Snoopy were here to share it with me. Just then the box began to wobble. It tipped over and Linus fell out, and he kept falling and rolling and somersaulting all the way down to the bottom of the hill. Dang. It was a good thing that the ground was covered in snow. He finally landed on his back and looked up at the hill, and he saw Snoopy sledding down the hill in the cardboard box. Snoopy was gaining speed and heading straight toward Linus. They crashed, and Linus, Snoopy, and the cardboard box all flew into the air. When they landed, Linus was lying flat in the snow. The box was upside down, and Snoopy was sitting on top of it and looking at Linus. Christmas is coming, Snoopy thought. You should ask for a sled. And he was right. That was a cute story. Okay, we'll do one more. December 11th. Merry Christmas. Love, Snoopy. It was almost Christmas when Charlie Brown heard the doorbell ring. I wonder who it could be, he said aloud. To no one in particular. When he opened the door, he was delighted to see his pal Snoopy, smiling and holding out a gift with a big ribbon tied around it and a bow on top. He didn't know Snoopy was going to get him a present. This is Snoopy giving Charlie Brown the present. For me?" Charlie Brown asked. Snoopy nodded. "Thank you very much." He opened the card on top of the gift and read it aloud. "For the round-headed kid," Snoopy had written, "Merry Christmas." The round-headed kid, Charlie Brown thought. The round-headed kid. Is that the best he can do? "It would be nice to have a dog who remembered your name," Charlie Brown said aloud, hoping Snoopy would hear. "It would also be nice if he didn't make fun of things that make you who you are, like your big round head," he thought. Then he looked up and realized that Snoopy had left. Charlie Brown sighed. He wasn't even sure he wanted to open the gift anymore, but he was curious about what was inside, so he decided to do it anyway. Inside there was a small picture frame that said, "Charlie Brown and Snoopy forever." "Snoopy knows my name," Charlie Brown realized. "It's going to be a very Merry Christmas after all." Ain't that sweet? Snoopy always tricks Charlie Brown and reminds him that he actually is a good dog. Well, I'm going to leave it there. That was a few stories. We're down to December 12th now, and I'll do more tomorrow. I hope everybody has a good night and happy holidays, and be safe. Take care. Bye. See you tomorrow.